team are very dangerous offset places, so I know that we had to keep going until the final whistle, and yeah, I'm proud of the team for doing that.
One goal disallowed for offside near the end. Yours was a close. Were you confident when you scored it that it was valid?
No, I've had a few this year that's been ruled offside, so I wasn't really too confident. I thought I went a little bit early, but yeah, thank God the goal counted, so yeah, I'm really happy.
And could there have been others for you?
Yeah, there was a few where I went a little bit too early again and had one offside, and overall I thought the team could have scored a few more today, but you know, like I said, we dug into the end and we kept working hard until the final kick.
Back in the team today, the manager talked after the game at Newcastle when he didn't play, players having to be focused all the time. Is that something you've had to take on board?
Yeah, definitely. You know, around the Christmas time, you can't really, you know, put your foot off the gas. You have to keep going and remain focused. And this team's doing that at the moment, and you can see that we're getting maximum points, which is really good to see.
And this false nine role, are you relishing it?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
We're seeing it longer term, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe in the future I can move into there, but you know, wherever the manager puts me, I try and do my best for the team. You know, I started on the left in the first half, don't forget as well. So yeah, it's really good that I'm adaptable and I can fit in anywhere.
Well, City keep winning. Chelsea and Liverpool have dropped points this week. An 8-point lead. Is this turning into a decisive period in the title race?
You know, it's the most challenging league in the world, and it just goes to show that you can drop points at any time. And like I said, the team's remaining focused at the moment and playing really well, so I'm happy.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is one of the toughest leagues, if not the toughest league in the world, but the way Manchester City are playing at the moment, so imperious, so, well, just in a flow and a rhythm, and even a game when they're challenged a little bit like tonight and things will get a little bit tough, they come through it. You know, you compare the 6-3 performance on Boxing Day to a 1-0 tonight, they can win in different styles, can't they?
Yeah, they did win in different styles. It was a really clinical win. You know, you don't need always to, you know, win with a stand-up performance or the quality just to overthrow your opponent with like 6 goals or 7 goals. And especially in the stage that City is right now, and in the situation also in the winter time around Christmas, you need these kind of wins. You know, you need these kind of 3 points in order to maintain that streak, and that's exactly what they did today.
Did you feel that Phil Foden was a little bit reticent, a little bit sheepish there, wasn't he? He's had to take on board his lesson. He's had to kind of eat a bit of humble pie, perhaps, with his manager coming out publicly and saying, you know, why he was missing, didn't make any excuses for him. But he's come back today with intent, scored a great goal.
Well, we know how much ability he has. He's obviously still learning the game. He's got points to prove to the manager. When the manager feels you've let him or the club down, then he's left him out. At that particular football club, you have to take that on board, because if you're not in the team, someone else is going to go in the team and stay in the team. So when you get your opportunity, when the manager says, okay, now's your time again, you've got to go out and prove him right, and he did that tonight. He was the difference. It wasn't vintage Manchester City, particularly going forward. We've seen them play much better stuff, but it was a different kind of game, because I said before the game, when you look at what Chelsea had to do here, when you look at Liverpool when they played here, and when you look at Arsenal, despite all the injuries that Brentford had, they make it difficult for you because they cram that defence. They got 5 at the back, they've got 3 in front and another 2, and it's very difficult. They make it tough to break down. So and City couldn't do that a lot of the time tonight. A lot of it was sideways, backwards, in possession-based football, and they had to just sit on that 1-0, and I never ever felt that Man City were in any danger, and they really controlled the game without playing particularly well. And
of course it came 53 seconds after a period of play where Brentford had some fantastic chances, but moments of magic from a fantastic player in Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, definitely, and it was the only shot on target as well. And you could see here with Foden's run that he was already expecting the cross. Didn't come, but just this one here, he just expected that the cross was coming, and then just that touch of magic from Foden. You know, we've seen it many times before throughout the season. He's always eager to score goals. He's always there in the box, first post, second post. He's always there to score a goal.
5 goals and 4 assists in 10 now. But this, as he said then, Alan, wasn't clear-cut. He looked up, he thought there was going to be some kind of VAR decision waiting, pending, as Nigel said. It is the way now, isn't it, where goal scorers are never completely sure.
No, I mean, there were two bits of quality in that first half, the cross.
And they were always had a ability to score goals, but this year, and especially in this time around, like, you need to have that solid defense in order to go forward, because it is a different period. It's a difficult period to go through, this Christmas period and also January. So you need to pick up points, and especially when you have City at first place. Yeah,
and of course City now 10 wins in a row in the Premier League, the fourth time Pep has achieved that landmark or better in his time as Manchester City manager. 36 wins in this calendar year as well. It's not the time for Chelsea to be dropping points from winning positions, Alan.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the impressive thing is the number of goals they're scoring, but other than Leicester on Boxing Day, they hardly concede, which is going to make it really, really difficult for Chelsea and Liverpool to get back into this title race, particularly when you look at Manchester City's next two games in the league. If they're to win those two, it's pretty much over, isn't it?
Arsenal at the weekend. I mean, well, this is what gives the race, I guess, a little bit more bite. If they don't win those two, obviously that's where... But if they do win those two, Alan, do you see this as a race anymore?
Not if they win the next two, I don't know. They have just been relentless without playing particularly well tonight. That's the impressive thing over the last few days is we were there last night for Liverpool, didn't play well, come away with nothing. Man City didn't really play that well tonight, come away, a couple of bits of quality, the finish, the cross, they've come away with the 3 points. With Liverpool and with Chelsea tonight, that's all they had to do.
Yeah, there was another goal, obviously, that was disallowed. Laporte, VAR got involved with this one, and we'll have a look at this, and then we'll have a little look at last night and Harry Kane's goal that was also disallowed, and just have a, it swings and roundabouts, different people making the decisions, but Laporte tonight first, Alan.
Yeah, I mean, it's so frustrating, isn't it? Because you're in the hands of the guy whenever he decides to stop and draw the line. And I understand there has to be a bit of tolerance from somewhere. Where do you draw the line? Where is it acceptable? I mean, they've changed it from last year in terms of the thicker line. But yeah, when are they freezing it there in terms of the ball leaving De Bruyne's foot? And the difference this last night is, I mean, is there any?
Both situations are borderline, right? I think what you just mentioned as well, and is that before the season started, they would be more respectful in the way how they would set up the line, and also let the play continue. But I don't see it now. So I want to hear the explanation as well of both of the offsides today, because for me, in a situation like that, you just have to let it continue.
Yeah, okay, well, let's talk a bit more about this one, because you were noticing something about Jack Grealish tonight, back in the side like Foden after 2 matches out, and you just feel there's been a slight change in his style of play, which is not a positive thing. In fact, that is it, isn't it? The positivity that he showed before in terms of his attacking runs are not as obvious.
First and foremost, he's a wonderful talent. Someone doesn't pay £100 million for you if you haven't got incredible ability. He has. We saw that at Aston Villa, but what I saw at Aston Villa was a guy who was their danger man, who teams certainly went up to 2 against him and was always attacking players. Now, I think he takes the easy option, certainly tonight, too many times. I understand Man City are a possession-based team and he doesn't want to lose the ball, but it looks as if he's lost that bit of, he's prepared to gamble. Simple thing again, okay, they keep possession, but he doesn't really go past anyone. He has 2 dribbles tonight, and this is the worst one for me, because there's actually 5 yards space there when we freeze it. If he takes that touch and turns and gets at the defender, he's got him in the box, he's got him where he wants him. How many times did we see him at Aston Villa last year get the ball and drive at a defender and commit a foul and win his team a foul? Or go on and do a piece of brilliance by beating 1 player or 2 players. He didn't do any of that tonight. Everything was safe and simple, and it looked as if sometimes he was a little bit scared to actually lose possession and gamble, take a risk. Now, that's not coming from Pep, because Pep encourages all his players to go and take someone on, go and gamble. Show me a piece of magic. I didn't really see that tonight in his performance. Everything was safe and too easy and too simple.
Ali McCoist is still on the gantry for us to join in with this one. Ali, do you recognise what Alan's saying there? Have you noticed that with Grealish, that perhaps those confident dribbles just aren't quite as abundant as they used to be?
Gabby, Big Al's 100% correct. He was you know, for want of a better expression, he was taking the easy option all the time, Jack. He was getting the ball in that wide left position. He was dropping his shoulder to go outside, coming back in. He had an opportunity. And many times we've seen him do it, go past somebody, but he wouldn't. He just lay it back to whether it was Bernardo Silva or indeed Nathan Ake. So I thought there was a safety about his play tonight that, listen, we all know you've got to keep the ball. But when you're in the final third of that area, you know, he's got licence to go and make things happen. The amount of free kicks that he's won in the years gone by at Villa in particular, gets free kicks in dangerous areas. That was missing tonight. I thought the only one that had a little bit of urgency and a desire to go and do something was the goal scorer, Phil Foden. Even Silva, De Bruyne, you know, they just weren't themselves tonight, Manchester City. However, with Danny Welbeck's goal, it's been a marvellous, and obviously Lookman's goal last night, it's been a marvellous couple of days for them.
There's always a lot of pressure, isn't there, when you pay a lot of money for a player, and £100 million is, that, you know, you're going to expect immediately to see them gelling, fitting it. And we know Pep Guardiola has had signings in the past that haven't immediately gelled, and he's persists with them, and eventually they become even better players. Are you concerned at all? You know, it's 6 months now that Grealish has been there, that he's perhaps not quite where you might expect him to be with City?
Do you know something, Gabby? You're probably right. However, he hasn't been a major disappointment. In that side, he hasn't looked out of place. He's been comfortable. We just haven't seen Jack Grealish do the things that he was doing at Villa. But he's been comfortable in the side. His position when he's played on the right-hand side or the left-hand side, technically he's very, very good. He's linking up. His passing play is good. It's just a little bit of magic that we've seen before, the step over, the ability to get by somebody. I'd like to see him score more goals. I'm not, in answer to your question, I'm not overly concerned, but I still think there's more to come of that, there's no doubt.
I think certainly with the possession that Man City had this evening, I'd guess it was around about 75% possession. I get he's also doing his job defensively for the team when they haven't got the ball. He's doing that okay, but in this Man City team, I think there's certainly room for him to express himself more. As I said, he's a wonderful talent. We saw that week in, week out. Now, when people, particularly here at Brentford, when you're getting everyone behind the ball, the argument might be, well, he's got 2 and 3 up against him. They certainly double up against him. They did that at Aston Villa because he was the danger man at Aston Villa. He went past 2 and 3 players with ease and won the foul, or he produced that piece of brilliance. But certainly on tonight's evidence, everything was far too safe, far too easy, little 5-yard pass, instead of having the belief and that confidence to say, you know what, I want to star in this team. I want to be the big hitter. I want to be the big name. Someone's paid £100 million for me. Now, I think if that was me in that position, I would say, wow, that's not my fault someone's paid that. Give me the ball. I want to show you what I can do. And I just didn't quite see that tonight.
I've asked these two here, I've asked Nigel and Alan, Ali, so I'll ask you. An 8-point lead for Manchester City, Chelsea yet again dropping points at home, Liverpool losing last night. Is this title race really still a race?
I would say to you, Gabby, at the moment, yes. But if you ask me in about 7 or 8 days, I'll have a feeling I might have a different answer for you, Gabby. At this moment, yes. In a week, probably not.
Is that because in between now and then there's ⴅᴏᴀ and you won't know what day of the week it is anyway?
That's a distinct possibility, Gabby.
Well, listen, you go take your little scarf back with you up the road, and thank you very much, Ali. Always a pleasure to chat.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the new year. You too, guys.
OK, well, let's speak to the winning manager, the manager who is 8 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Pep Guardiola is with Gabriel Clark.
Pep, your 10th win in a row in the Premier League. What did you make of the performance?
No, real tough. The opponent is, we knew it, we felt it. But we conceded, especially in the beginning, they had one clear chance, but after we didn't concede one shot on target, and in this stadium, for the way they play, it's so difficult to do it, and we play in the game we should play with a lot of calm, a lot of credit with Brentford, and a lot of credit what we have done.
You got one goal allowed thanks to VAR. Did you think you should have had a second goal allowed thanks to VAR?
I didn't see, but
the lines are so close.
So the margin in this kind of situations, you know, Tottenham, that disallowed goal from ⴅᴏⴇ so the lines, I don't know, you know, the margin is so, if you put the line here, put the line here, so sometimes it's difficult to know, but is this allowed, is this allowed? What what could I say? The important is that we didn't concede much, and a team like all the opponents, when they come here, they suffer a lot. So. And we controlled the game and we won it.
Phil Foden back with the goal after being left out. What reaction did you see from Phil?
Exceptional. Listen, with Phil he's already he's a football player, so we don't have doubts about that. So about his quality, about you know, and we knew it. So always have played since he came up to training and play with us. Always was exceptional.
What about Phil in that false nine role as well? He says it's something he'd like to develop moving forward.
Yeah,
do you see it that way?
Yeah, I think he likes it, his movement. Yeah, I like it. Today we play with 2 false nines, and for the way they played, we believe is the best way to do it. And also, yeah, Kevin was exceptional today again. And yeah, in general, the team was brilliant in many aspects. The game was not, you know, exceptional in terms of chances, but you cannot create more when one team play 10 players in a smaller space, and the strikers are so close, or holding midfielders are far away from central defenders, so close for Fernandinho. The space is always impossible. So in that situation, is be patient and not concede counterattacks. No, we gave them stupid faults, the unnecessary faults that where they are so strong with the long balls, with the free kicks, with the corners, and is a thing we have to improve in the future.
The final point, you're 8 points clear now. That must feel good.
54 points to play. 54. So when you get in this perspective, 8 points are ridiculous, but it's unexpected. But it happened because they dropped some points, and especially we won 10 games in a row. This is one of our targets. So now we don't have much time. We arrive late to Manchester, 2:30, and after tomorrow early we have to come back at 12:30. We play in 1st of January against, maybe right now, one of the best teams in top form right now is Arsenal. It's maybe we get it in the best moment since the last 4, 5, 6 years. And everyone can be agree with me, and but yeah, it's another one. Now rest, recover the people, and try to do it.
One more down. Thanks, Pep.
Very welcome.
It sounds like he wants all of those 54 points, doesn't it? And the way they're going, you wouldn't bet against him getting them. This is 2021, another historic year, another one for the record books. They have won 36 games in this calendar year out of 44 played, and lost just the 6, and scored 113 goals. No other team in all the leagues in the land have won more games in 2021, Nigel.
It's unbelievable. I mean, that record is just astonishing when you see what he did for the last couple of years, and now again with a 10 streak win. That's just incredible. And you got to give credit to him, the staff, the organization of trusting him as well, just to put this group of players together. And they're not finished. And what you said as well, and what you heard, 54 points to play, and it feels like he wants to grab all these points this season.
We talked a little bit about his managerial style ahead.
There's no let up. He's at it every single game, and he wants his players to be at it every single game, to be successful. You win one game, that's gone. You want to win the next one, and so on and so on. And that's why he's been so successful as a player, and of course now as a manager.
And how long can you keep up that level of expectation from the players and yourself? Because, you know, I know Man City fans know, they understand right now what they're experiencing. They'll probably never experience it again. How can you take that on? Who comes in after Pep and takes it on? You can't, can you? You can't do better than he's doing.
We were discussing a little bit beforehand, you know, if there is ever going to be a situation that Guardiola leaves, so who's going to be filling that shoe as well? And who want to go there? I mean, I think the 90% of the managers would love to go to City as an organization, so that's not the question. But I mean, what he did, and especially, you know, what he still be doing for City is just immense. So to fill that gap is going to be a hard task for everybody. But just the drive that he still have, and also to reflect that on your players, that's hard. To have 23 players with the egos that they have, all regular starters in whatever team they walk into, and just keep them in the togetherness, and also just maintain that drivenness.
You very rarely hear of discord, do you? You very rarely hear of anybody kind of like going off message within the group.
Yeah, but that's something in Guardiola. That's something that's in him as well. He knows that he is the main responsible in this group, so he can't let his guard down. He
No.
can't, and that was a perfect example what happened with Grealish and with Foden. Perfect example. Set a
Take care of
signal.
it.
Set a signal. Even though they have great potential and they're superstars in the making, set a signal for the rest of the team. Like, listen, we are here with a mission. If it is domestic wise, if it is international wise, because we all know the one trophy that's still missing in the cabinet is the Champions League.
Yeah.
So he set a message. He set a straight message, and it's great, and it put everybody on their toes.
Well, look, we showed, didn't we, ahead of the match, the difference in resources between these two sides, and for all those amazing accolades and things we've said about him, he does have incredible resources and has spent a lot more money than Thomas Frank has been able to do here. They run their club on a very different philosophy, and I'm sure he will be pleased with his players' performance tonight. So let's hear from the Brentford manager now, with Gabriel Clark.
Well, there's a sense of relief on Pep Guardiola's face, having got through that match with a win. How do you feel about your team's performance?
Absolutely fantastic. First half, unbelievable. We're giving one chance again, one chance away against Manchester City. We are Boston and Hounslow. We are the lowest budget. They have the richest budget, the best players, the best managers. And in one game, we know there's always a chance. And we are lacking 6 of our normal starters. It's unbelievable. I can't actually understand it in a way. Of course, I'm so disappointed we didn't get anything out of it. Marginal onside, their goal. We had 3 very good opportunities, chances that we need to take, of course. Second half, it's difficult to get near them, of course. So we knew that when we were going high, we wanted to go high a little bit more in the pressure, and then still only had 2 chances. We kept on a very, very, very low amount of shot and chances compared to when they are best. So, yeah, very impressed.
It's easy to say it's a shame Brentford couldn't create 2 clearer chances in the second half. Is that simply because the physical toll that the game has on your players? Because Manchester City press so well when you have the ball?
Of course, no doubt that we are running a lot after the ball, of course. We know that, just like any other team in Premier League are doing. And so that is one thing, but also I think on the day we lack that little extra quality to make the difference. Especially the second half. First half, I think we did. And the set pieces we got, we need to get more out of them because that could have been even more dangerous.
Are they the best team you've played this season? Not sure.
That's a good question. I think them or Liverpool, those have been the 2 best, I would say.
So that would suggest that even though Manchester City are 8 points clear, you feel they could be caught?
It's Premier League, everything can happen, I must say, but no, Man City are a good side. If they, don't have too many injuries, which that seems to have been privileged not to have, I think they'll win the title.
It's near the halfway point in your season, 20 points from 18 games. Are you on schedule, ahead of schedule? To stay up?
I always behind schedule. I want more. So I think we could have had more. If you look at all our games and even today, I think I think they had the ball a lot, but I think it could have been a well-deserved point as you look at that. But with all our injuries and with, as I said before, the smallest squad potentially in Premier League, then it just hit harder. And when you lack today a game against City, 6 of your normal starters, that's tough. But big praise to the players who played today. It's just amazing.
Thanks, Thomas. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you.
Mayback music.
In any